Libra.
Hello Libra, this is your astrological forecast for July 2016. This month for you is going to be super important as far as work is considered. You have the Sun, Mercury, the new moon, and Venus all in this area, so that's going to allow you to really focus on where you're heading, what you're doing, what you want to accomplish. Maybe there could be new things coming to the table as far as your career is concerned, but you're really wanting to nurture it here this month, since all of these planets now are moving through the sign of Cancer, and wherever the sun or the planets are, they absorb that energy. So regardless, being a Libra, you're going to have that Cancerian feeling within, meaning that you're going to feel that you are going to react, think, and respond more like a Cancerian, not necessarily like a Libra. We always want to think about that when we look at the transits. So your communication this month will be about work, maybe some new concepts coming in where you're going to have to take charge of something. The Sun and Venus is loving what it's doing, so I feel it is going to be a great month. As far as that is concerned, with the exception there, I feel, on the 7th, but I'll get back to it. But for the rest of the month, both prior and after, you're going to see that there's a drive, there's a flow. What I really love too now is that Mars is catching up speed. It turned direct there at the very end of June. So if you're listening to this forecast early in June, you're still, going through whatever challenges June did happen. I know there was a few of them, and Mars is still retrograde, so therefore everything slowed down and everything seemed to come to a halt. Financially too, that's where Mars is and was in June, though being retrograde then. But here in July, it's picking up speed, so you're going to feel that this area of your life, money, income, self-esteem, all of those things here that you value and hold close to heart, you're going to see how this is going to lift and rise, and you're going to find your wave and float. Now, what I really like though is that you already had a feel when Mars was in Sagittarius, a little earlier before it went retrograde. So what you can expect here a little bit later when it goes back into Sagittarius, then you're going to be traveling some more interaction with siblings and so forth. But right now, the message for you, Libra, is look at your finances, get all your ducks in a row the best you can, because Mars is helping you, assisting you to perfect this, because it's going to be another 2 years before you get this chance, right? So I'm feeling it's good. You're in charge. Mars and Scorpio, see, Mars used to be the ancient ruler of Scorpio, so it harmonizes here well. What it does, it allows you to go deeply. Think about Scorpions. They're always emotionally very deep, private, and wanting to do what they can to transform this area. So that's, the energy behind you here in July. Jupiter also now moving forward, picking up speed slowly, but now really moving forward in that 12th house. We spoke about that last month too. So your hopes and dreams are starting to expand. You're feeling now that you are in a good place. I feel there's harmony within, and Jupiter is going to give you a couple of really nice, beautiful messages here this month where you can come to see that your life is expanding. It's like new doors opening up there, Libra. The new moon here this month on 4th of July. What a beautiful black backdrop to have a black sky against all the fireworks going off, so we could see them perfectly. It's 12 degrees in Cancer, and that would be in your 10th house. So don't forget to put down your intentions, which is 10th house career related. Do that before you go out, celebrate and party for the evening. But 4th of July should be beautiful. Any other planets that you have, Libra, at 12 degrees will also be buzzed upon here by this new moon and kick new things into action. The full moon will be on July 19th at 27 degrees of Capricorn. Now for you, that is the 4th house, which has to do with home and family related matters. It is at the very tail end of it, and so you might just come to see that this whole area will be illuminated by the full moon. Needs at home, needs maybe for parents, which the 4th house also rules, especially a little bit earlier in that day. You could have maybe even the day before, prior, which brings us to the 18th. You might start feeling this energy as the full moon is going to pass Pluto, which always rules new beginnings and endings and so forth, and it affects us deeply. So this would be a day where you can process something of emotional matters that has to do with family. But this month, like I said, we have much better transits than we did in June. June could be a little challenging for many of you. And we start off the month here with Venus, money, and the things that you hold close to heart, romance and so forth, is now in a beautiful aspect to Jupiter, which is generous and abundant. And I feel this happy-go-lucky energy is leaving you feeling quite harmonious, very romantic, followed here by the 3rd of July when vision is coming. There's certain days throughout the year where we're more inspired than other days, where we feel our sixth sense is more open and it can take in that channeled information. And that's one of these days here. So you might want to make a note of that epiphany, the breakthrough, the vision that you have, even though you might not be able to act on it immediately. Because vision is always what we have on the horizon. And what's on our horizon, our long-term goals, is what pulls us forward. So for you, this Neptune, which we're talking about, is the 6th house. The sun will then be in your 10th house. So I feel it's a vision of work. It's a vision that has to do with your career or where you would like to grow in your career. On the 6th, it's a really beautiful romantic day. Venus and Mars doing the dance. And so we have romance, we have good interaction, we've got great chemistry. So for those of you in a relationship, you will enjoy this day. And if you're single, well, don't sit at home. You might just come to meet that somebody special, Mr. or Mrs. X, right? But the energy, at least, it's together, it's gelling. So here on the 7th, that was the day I wanted to mention that we might have to pay a little bit extra attention to. The Sun, Mercury, and Venus, all three of them, are just lining up in not the best of ways. First with Pluto and then here also with Uranus. So people can have a little bit of a short fuse. You might have a short fuse. This energy is in your 10th house, so for you, the stage will be at your work, okay? So it could be co-workers, it could be the boss, it could be you. And so just lay low and know that this shall pass. Just give it a day or so. Because already here on the 9th through the 10th, great energy. The very same thing that could have been a problem or an issue can now move forward smoothly with great cooperation and with a feeling of fairness, justice, and generosity in the sharing between you. But on the 7th, if somebody starts something, you might react. If you start something, they might react. So it's better to just zip it, right? Zip it there on the 7th and be wise about it. Because sometimes when we see, especially when Mercury has that snare to it, things can be said that we might regret. When Venus is up against Uranus, it might act upon something that might regret, right? Especially if there's any push-pull or kind of sending a message of ending something because the hastiness of it might just want to split off, but one can regret that. That's what I call self-sabotage type of energy. But the 8th and 10th are good. Like I said, there's drive, there's cooperation, there's joy, happiness, and a great sense of humor. And then on the 16th, here, if you're going to have any interviews or any negotiations going on, great time to do so, Libra. because Mercury is well aligned to Venus. This is you being able to present yourself, your sense of self-worth. If we're talking money or having any money negotiations, I see that you could feel very free-spirited to bring it up. If they don't, you can. Again, this has to do with career, so it might be a time for a review for some of you. In that case, it should be good. Your actions are very clear, very direct. Mars is in a great place here in your financial area, and the Sun is up there in the career area. That's why I'm saying maybe there could be a bonus, or maybe there could be a promotion coming for you. On the 19th, straight throughout the rest of the month is absolutely beautiful, and I'm happy to see that, Libra, because why? You're feeling that control is coming into your life, where you can ground the things that are important to you, where you can express those things that are important to you. You're working on this foundation. Even though Saturn is still retrograde and will be to that of mid-month there in August, next month, it being in your third house has to do with how you communicate and interact with people. And Mercury-Venus here with a golden beam to this Saturn is allowing you to actually now come forward and be a little bit more outward in expressing your needs. And I feel you could land something of longevity, maybe a new contract, or groups too could be important to you, or circles of friends could be important to you here on these days. Then on the 27th, we have unexpected news. You know, we always get that from time to time when Uranus kicks in with the unexpected wow factor. And so Mercury could be a text, it could be an email, it could be a phone call, or just face-to-face. But this news for you, I feel, is now a partnership related. So of course that could be your significant other, but it could also be somebody you work with closely, one-on-one, or it could be a client. But whatever it is for you, I feel it's like the key in the door that might just now open up new opportunities for you. And again, I feel it has something to do with groups as well, and you're partaking in it. So good luck with that. Now, listen, I wish you a beautiful month of July. For those of you out and about having a vacation, have a good one, and I'll see you there in